Good morning, everybody. I'm Fat Cat. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. What I want to talk to you today about is, what is your R? Yeah, R, like a pirate. Your ARR, which is your average run rate. Now, looking at getting into hotshot trucking, it's something you're probably not even familiar with, never even heard of. A lot of professional drivers out there, they know what their R is. And as such, they know which loads they shouldn't take. So you're going to have the opportunity at some point, if you're in the hot shotting industry, to take a load of hot freight. And there are going to be some caveats with this hot freight. One of the caveats is that it's probably going to be dedicated, which means that's the only thing they want on your trailer. Okay, that's what they're paying for, is the only thing on your trailer to be there is their product. Second caveat with this is it's probably going to have to be there by a certain day, by a certain time. Okay, that's what you want to be real careful with. Okay, first one, not too hard to deal with. You know, they're paying you dedicated freight, just put it on there and roll down the highway. Second one, however, it can be kind of gnarly, especially if you're not aware of it. So your average run rate. Many of you people have come up with an idea of what an average run rate is, but you don't know it. Okay, if you've planned on going on a trip to visit Aunt Betsy or Uncle Bob or whoever, you've probably said, well, it's this many miles, it's this many miles per hour is the speed limit, so we should get there about this amount of time. Try that shit in hotshot trucking, and you will be out of business. Okay. Your average run rate is exactly that. How long does it take you to get from point A to point B and pulling a load? Okay, because not pulling a load versus pulling a load is two different animals. Okay, so when you're pulling a load, how long does it take you to get from point A to point B? This is really important because, you know, whenever you get a hot load like I previously mentioned, a couple things are going to happen. If it's dedicated, the first thing they're going to have you do at some point during your trip after the load is on your trailer and you're underway is that broker is going to call you and ask you to snap a picture of your truck and trailer. He don't care about your truck and trailer. All he wants to know is if his product is the only product on your trailer. Yes, because they don't want to pay for dedicated freight if you've thrown something else on there. So keep that in mind, because this will happen. Okay. The second thing is, if it's hot freight like that and it's got to be there by a certain day at a certain time, there's a couple things you can count on. That shipment is either catching a boat or a plane, or even worse, it's got a crane with a rigging crew there ready to take that stuff off your trailer. Now, if you don't get it there on time, let's just say you calculated it's going to take you 2 days to get it there, and it takes you 2.75 days. That means you are going to end up paying that crane rental fee for 0.75 of a day, plus the 6 hands, the rigging crew. You're going to also pay their wages as well, because you couldn't get it there on time because you didn't know your numbers, right? Okay, your average run rate. That is the very first number you need to learn in hotshot trucking. You have to know this, okay? So, how do you know your average run rate if you don't know your average run rate? Because you're new to the business, right? Well, your first tour of duty, as I call it, you know, your first month out or however long you're out for, what you're going to have to do is, from the time your foot hits that accelerator that morning and you start your day to the time you shut down, you count those hours. Okay, now those hours include any and all occurrences. Okay, they include fueling up. Those hours include taking your break. If you're going to grab something to eat, they include taking a leak. If you're going to stop and take a leak, they include that too. If you're going to stop and visit some pink Cadillacs sticking out of the sand somewhere in New Mexico, they include that too. Okay. So you include all those hours from the time you start to the time you shut that truck off in the evening time, and you call it a day. Okay, once you say you've called it a day, you take that whole span of hours and you go, okay, these are my hours. All right, now then, the second number you're going to need is how many miles did you go that day? Did you go 500 miles or did you go 700 miles? Did you go 400 miles? Okay, so what you do is you take those miles that you run and you divide them by that many hours, the amount of hours you run that day. So you take that information and it gives you a number. And that number can be 45, it can be all the way up to 65. And that number you come up with, that's your miles per hour, that's your average run rate. Okay. Now listen, some of you wise asses out there, you're going to go, oh, okay, I'll do this whenever I'm already loaded the day before, and I'll just do it when I'm driving all day long. Fine, lie to yourself. I don't care. You will fail. So you have to do this every day that you're out, okay? Because that's going to give you your how many hours per hour, miles per hour you actually run, okay? Now, you got to do this the whole time you're out. Now, at the end of your tour of duty, when you're sitting at home after you've had maybe a day or so to take a little bit of a breather, that may happen for you. For me, I'm a homeowner, so I got to get my ass up early when I get home, and I got shit to work on. So maybe it'll work out for you. Doesn't work out so well for me, but at some point when you're home, you got to take all those miles per hours. You got to add all of them up. So the normal miles per hour you come up with, say, is 62 for 3 weeks. So you take 62, add all those 62s up, or 61s, or 58s, or whatever, add them all up, and then you take however many number them are. If you've got, say, 24 days worth of stuff, of numbers, and you divide that total by 24. Okay, that is normalizing your number, and that gives you your average run rate. See, you never knew you'd have to do this much math, did you? So the reason why that's important is if you've got a load that's going a little ways away and you know your average run rate, you'll know if you can be there on that day and that time to get it dropped off. Okay, this is very, very important. It's extremely important that you know this, because sometimes the best job you get is the one you turn down. Yeah, hard to believe. So you got to know that number, okay? And once you have that number in mind, you're going to know, on average, pulling a load, how long it takes to get from point A to B, right? So then when they throw this at you and they say, hey, look, dude, this is 1,200 miles. Can it be there by this day or that time? Well, here's where the plot thickens. You'll have that number in mind, and you can take those miles, divide those miles by that number, by your normalized average run rate, your R. And then you can go, okay, how many hours a day do I normally run? Okay. If you tell me you run 11 hours a day in the hotshot industry, you're completely full of shit. It's very rare you are holding that steering wheel for 11 solid hours a day. Very rare in this industry. Okay. So you got to ask yourself, is my average run about 9 hours a day, or am I running 10 hours a day? Am I running 9.5? How long am I actually, foot on the accelerator all day, every day? So then you're going to be able to take that number and the amount of miles, and then you're going to take your average run rate and you're going to divide those two. It's going to tell you how many hours it's going to take you to get there. Okay, you take that amount of hours and you divide it by how long you actually run for every day, whether it's 9 hours or 10 hours, whatever, and then that's going to tell you exactly how many days it's going to take you to get that load there. Tell you exactly how many days. Now, you always want to leave yourself about a half a day cushion in case you pop a tire or something. Okay, so you leave yourself a cushion. Got a story on that one. Okay, you're going to love this story. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to throw it out there, let you decide. I had a driver that he took a load going to the part of the country that he was absolutely forbidden to go to. It's Massachusetts, by the way. Because I don't go north of the southern New York state line. Somehow this load ended up on his fucking trailer. And I knew his average run rate. unlike him. Okay, and I run the numbers and I said, okay, he's got about 3/4 of the day to spare there. If he can get it up there and everything goes smooth, he should be okay on it. He should get it there on time. And midday Friday, I get a call. Hey man, you're not gonna believe this. I had a piece of steel in the road. How in the hell, you as a professional truck driver, do you hit a piece of steel in the road unless, number one, you're not paying attention, or number two, which is even worse, you're following too closely? How does that shit happen? Okay, so I say, okay, all right, no worries. Road service on. Oh yeah, road service is on its way out. They're gonna get me fixed up. Well, evidently, when the road service guy was swapping out one of his tires, he said, "Hey bud, by the way, your steering stabilizer's busted." And the steering stabilizer goes on the front end of the truck, and it looked like a busted can of biscuits. Yeah, not good. Not good. Can't roll that damn thing through a weigh station like that because they would probably find it. So, let me see here. What do we do? So he gets to the motel, drops the trailer, runs to the local dealership, and something you need to understand: if you show up midday on a Friday and you need to get your truck fixed, it ain't happening. It is not happening. These guys have got plans. They got other shit to do. So you're going to be there till Monday. Now, I knew that his load needed to be there Tuesday morning. Yep, Tuesday morning. And I knew that if he was able to get the truck fixed Monday and hook onto it and drive like a mad Indian, he could probably do it. I mean, he'd be a little bit late, but it'd be pretty close. So anyhow, Monday rolls around, and all of a sudden it's such a new vehicle that they can't get the part. They got to order it in from Florida. I'm like, oh man. All right, now I've been around long enough. I know where this is headed. So here's where the plot thickens. I had a load on my trailer, and it was going from Houston to New Orleans on Monday. And so Monday morning, we get up, 5 a.m., foot on the accelerator. We get the load to New Orleans. The crane pulls it off my trailer about noon, 11:30. I find a local place where I can store my trailer. And guys, let me tell you something. There are places that will gladly charge you $150 to store your trailer there for 5 days. Yeah, I know this. So find a place to store my trailer. And my wife and I, we hop in the truck and we head to Richmond, Virginia, which is where my driver's truck is busted. Now, what propagated this move was a call from the broker. The broker said, hey, listen, if it's not there when it's supposed to be, these guys are already talking, because he made them aware that the truck had a mechanical. He said they're already talking about filing it on your insurance as a lost cargo. Well, I really don't want that to happen. Really, really did not want that to happen. And I kind of knew what I needed to do. Even though I didn't want to. I didn't want to. But I kind of knew what needed to happen. So, anyhow, we hop in the truck after we drop our trailer, and we head to Richmond, Virginia. And we drive all damn night long. We get to Richmond, Virginia about 4 in the morning. Pull into the motel parking lot, call my driver up, say, hey, I'm in the parking lot. Can move your damn truck so I can get my trailer. And we hook onto that bad boy and we haul ass. We get to New Jersey probably about 2 p.m., 2:30, something like that. Check into the motel. Call it a night. Get up at 2 a.m. and we run to Massachusetts to drop this load. Now the load was supposed to be there by 7 a.m. 6:35, I am wheeling in that gate. jamming this thing in the park, unstrapping my load, looking around, and nobody's there. People, the crew that was expecting the load was pretty much told it's probably not going to be there. One guy shows up. He's a young kid, very motivated, and he says, yeah, I'll get that off there for you. The other guys didn't think you guys were going to show up today. That's how much confidence they have in some of us hotshot drivers. So got the load off of there, and was able to take this trailer that I now have all the way back from whence it came, just so I could go back and get my trailer, and then I could start making money again. So you can see your average run rate if you know your numbers. It's really important to know this. Now, generally, when you take a load, if it's within half a day or less than half a day of you getting it there, you better turn that damn thing down. Because let me tell you something, if you do pop a tire or you do have a mechanical, you are not getting that load there on time. Okay, you better allow yourself at least a day. If it is hot, dedicated freight, and it's got to be there by a certain day at a certain time, if you're new to this and you don't know your equipment very well, or you're not running very good equipment, or you just aren't very experienced, if you don't have a day's worth of cushion, you better not take that load. Now, here's what happens. When you start out in the hot shotting industry, you're like kind of like a jellyfish floating around in the ocean. Yeah, just picture that for a second, jellyfish. You don't really know what's going on. It's kind of there, flirting your way around. You're just kind of bobbing around. Yeah, that's what you're doing. By about the 6 month mark to a year, I'm going to say 4 to 8 months, 6 to a year if you're really not that intelligent, you have become a super predator. I mean, you are an apex shark in this industry. You are a hunter, because by then you are tired of spending money. You've lost all the money you're prepared to lose. So you've learned to refine your skills and techniques, and you're hunting every day, all day. You're not that jellyfish no more. You're not that guy. Okay. So gotta know your R, guys. You know, gotta be a pirate. Okay. Gotta go R. What's my R on that? So take those amount of miles that hot load's going, divide it by your average run rate. It's gonna tell you how many hours takes you to get there. Okay. Once you have that number, that amount of hours, divide that by your average daily run time, whether it's 9 hours, 10 hours, 9.5, whatever it is, divide it by that, and that's going to tell you exactly how many days it's going to take you to get there. And pull your damn phone out and you do the math while you're on the phone with that broker. Okay. Now, there's another little piece of free information. If you don't have one of these, you don't need to be in hotshot trucking. You need to be in a big truck. Okay, because one of these is what makes you money in this business. Just having a phone that you hold up by your ear, shit ain't gonna work, guys. Ain't gonna work. If you don't have a hands-free device, you're putting yourself out of business. You're costing yourself money. So you go ahead and spend a couple $100 on a good earpiece, good quality earpiece, because you're gonna be on that damn phone all day, every day. And if you buy one of them little cheap bastards that goes dead after 2 hours of talk time, you just cost yourself money. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not mad at my money. I like my money, okay? I like my money to go out and make friends with other money and bring that money back to me, okay? I'll pimp my money out like that, okay? I'm not ashamed of it, okay? I like my money. So, unless you're mad at your money and you want it to go away, you better invest in quality tools on the front end, because they will pay you back. You buy yourself some cheap, shitty earpiece, only lasts for about 2 hours. That's actual talk time, guys. It's not just hanging on your damn ear with battery. You are costing yourself money. So, anyhow, that's the short version of knowing your numbers. One of your primary numbers that you have to know in the beginning. Now, here's a freebie, okay, for you guys just starting out, because I know and you know you don't know your R. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a basic formula right here out the gate. Okay, basic formula that you need to use starting with. It's gonna help you. Take the amount of miles you're gonna go, and you're gonna fine tune this. Okay, don't worry. All right, this is just your kindergarten level introductory course, because you're gonna mess this up. Okay, I know that. Take those amount of miles, divide it by 55 miles an hour. 55 miles an hour is a really good run rate. I mean, it's a good run rate. It's not phenomenal, but it's okay. Okay. That other driver, by the way, his run rate was 45 miles an hour. Let that sink in. So, being new in the business, being motivated, take those miles, divide it by 55 miles an hour. That is going to tell you how many hours it's going to take you to get there, in theory. And then you take that and you divide that by 9. Just say, for example, you're only driving 9 hours a day. 9's a good number to start with. It's going to tell you how many days it should take you to get there. And that's going to leave you a little bit of a cushion. It should leave you a little bit of a cushion. So start with that formula. Don't commit to these hot loads, because there are people out there that know you don't know what you're doing yet, and that you are more than willing to break the freaking law to get their shit there on time, which means that if you take some of them hot loads, you will be running out of your hours of service. And it's probably not a bad thing until you get caught. And when you get caught, it is a bad thing. It's bad for you, it's bad for your authority, it's just bad for everybody. It's just not good. So start learning your R's. Start practicing. When you look at a load, you have to know, what is your R? What is that? So keep that in mind. Just wanted to shoot that video first thing this morning. I'm gonna go work on some stuff until I'm praying to get back behind the wheel, so I don't have to work on shit no more. So, starting my day. I'm YouTube, Fat Cat. Thanks for watching my YouTube video, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.